You wanna introduce him?
Huh?
You want to introduce him?
We have in the bottom right corner the Terran from Psionic Aftermath. Give it up for Nas. Woo!
Where are we going?
And in the top left corner from the clan that I have no idea who we're facing, TKO Seduce.
Holler. Alright.
I'm not sure if you've watched.
So what do you
beating me earlier?
say that again?
Why did I add this Seduce as a meanie for beating me earlier in a team game?
I think he's doing. But this isn't.
So what do you think they're gonna do?
I'm gonna probably guess some big bio play from Nas, where probably gonna see maybe 2-gate Robo from Seduce.
Oh God, no! This is.
Before he expands or what?
I guess.
I'm gonna guess a 1-gate expand
I didn't realize.
versus maybe 1 Rax expand, probably.
And then when I noticed, I was like, oh fuck.
We'll see.
Here we see the barracks. I'm not going down for a wall.
Nope.
We're next to the command center.
So you can kind of tell since he's not trying to wall it off that he's gonna be playing pretty standard. He is going for gas. That doesn't mean too much.
Might be a quick stim build here. Going for a quick pressure, maybe with Marauders.
We'll see.
Gateway's almost completed for Seduce.
So only got 2 on gas. You want to save up minerals?
Pretty standard build right now from Seduce. There's the cybernetics core.
I feel like this game started off pleasantly enough, and then it just kind of went downhill. In a perfect world.
And we're playing TKO Gaming, by the way.
TKO Gaming.
Yep.
Oh. Hello, TKO Gaming. I'm sorry I didn't know your name to begin with the game. Please forgive me. I suck at this.
Alright, so he's running a factory, so this is going to be early Hellions or maybe a 1-on-1. It looks like he's actually doing some early pressure with some gateway units here. Zealot Stalker. Maybe.
Perhaps.
And looks like he's throwing out his Nexus here. Just a sec. I should throw that up. Right
There's the Nexus.
So he's either, let's see, what's this? Alright, so he's doing 1-on-1. Maybe well, I guess he's gonna do some Hellion pressure. Maybe Hellion drops. Something to that effect. Because I don't see a tech lab.
I don't see a starport for Hellion.
Yeah, it's below the factory.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Nah, that's fine. He has cut probes, or not probes, SCVs. So it looks like he's, I don't know. I would guess he's going all in, but I could be wrong. Maybe he'll expand behind this. But it's all going to come down to whether these Hellions do damage or not. If they don't do damage, he's going to be in a shitty position.
2 more gateways down for Seduce, with the robotics facility on the way as well.
Yep. I believe he scouted there was no expansion, so he knows something's up. So this all just comes down to how well this is defended. Here come the Hellions. Ooh, jeez. 2 tech labs. So he's going to do Hellion pressure into a 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Or into like a 1-1 push with Banshees and tanks.
What does that do?
I've never seen that.
One Hellion goes down. The warp in of more stalkers will help that.
Let's see. He's killed 13 workers. So that's pretty effective, I'd say. Yeah.
300 mineral trade-off for 13 workers.
Yeah, that's a huge blow. So then his one-on-one's going to do a ton of damage.
See a Raven out for Nas.
Yep. Which is indicated he will get Cloak and Banshees. And he'll use that to pick off observers.
Still no expansion down though for Nas.
Yeah, this is pretty all in. I mean, he's done an enormous amount of. He killed 13 prebs, so it's going to cut down a lot on how many units are going to be out. I mean, he can still defend this, but I mean, it's rough. He's only up 5 workers. He has an extra base. We'll see. Still no stealth. So maybe he's just using the Raven for the point defense.
Won't do much good against the Immortals once they hit the front of his base.
Let's see what we've got in production here. So he's just trying to get caught back up on workers. He's only down 10 in supply. I mean, he's got to get him out of Immortals. He has enough Immortals to defend this. It's just going to be whether or not he can defend against all those Marines. He's pulling a ton of SCVs. That is 21 SCVs coming. So this is a very, very, very scary push. But he scouts it with this observer. So he knows exactly what's coming. It's just going to be whether or not he can actually get enough zealots out.
Got 7 zealots.
He probably needs a couple more sentries. But he's gonna meet this head on, just so he can try and catch him on siege, slow this down a little bit. He's gonna make these siege tanks siege and unsiege and make them really work for the ground here. It's a smart move. So he's slowing this down. He's buying himself at least 1 or 2 more warp-ins. So it's real intelligent. This is still a very, very scary push. I mean, the lack of force fields here is going to be pretty scary. He won't be able to cut this army up more than once or twice. He's got 1 shot, really.
There's the Guardian Steelers.
He's going to be patient, wait for another warp-in. He's trying to get another Colossus. This Colossus will be huge. If he can buy time for that to come out. And it looks like he's going to try and buy time until he gets this Colossus out. He does not have range on it. Little supply block here. He really needs this Colossus, and here he goes.
Ready to the attack. Here comes the Colossus.
He knows all he has to do here is defend because he's so all in. The Colossus is not even part of this fight. He's not. If the Colossus is there, he'll be able to clean it up with the Colossus. And there really isn't going to be anything behind this. He's pretty much mined it. Yep, that's a good game.
I wasn't much of a fan of the all-in there by Nas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary push. He did do some damage, but in the end, he just allowed too much time to get bought. He just slowed in a lot in the midfield, bought himself enough time to get those units he needed out.
A good game to seduce. TKO Gaming up 1-0 now in the Clan War in the best of 5.
Alright, Logan's gonna do the cast here with us.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get Melon to take my spot, so I'll be able to cast.
I'll just be a cameraman, as I have no desire to cast. I'll actually pay attention to the camera.
Yep, hopefully. I'll try and do as much talking as possible with Mike here. I'm just asking, our next player will be Nick. Or Ghost, sorry. I'm just waiting on the map. That last game, I thought it was very interesting. The Hellion Harass actually did a lot of damage, and I felt that the 1-1-1 would have done a little bit better if he was a touch more aggressive with his units.
Yeah, he just got slowed down.
Yeah, Seducey ended up, I don't know if you saw it there, but he ended up putting his workers on hold command behind his mineral line, which meant he wasn't getting any additional mining. And I think he could have, Nas could have easily gotten at least a little bit of damage in there periodically by trying to make units come up towards him. A little bit of stutter stepping with the Marines, or even moving a couple up the ramp just to see what's up there. Anything like that, I think, would have been able to help out a little bit. And Ghost had to switch accounts, so I just got to see what map he would prefer. I believe it's going to actually be a TVT. So, or TVP again, actually.
Yeah, what the hell is our tag?
So
It's Psionic.
Something like that. It's undecided as of right now. We're still fairly new, so it looks like he's picking Antigua Shipyard for TVP. I think that's a phenomenal choice, actually. So I just gotta find out where the clan war is, and then I have to invite.
It's pretty abusive for drops and everything.
I'd agree for sure. He ended up picking Antigua. That's definitely in the TVP repertoire for sure. Let's see. I need to invite Pop Rock and Mr. Udar, and then Amir on their side. So we're actually gonna have 3 casters here. Hopefully, I don't step on your guys' toes too much.
I'm not gonna say fucking anything.
You're
Or,
gonna do
excuse me.
awkward
Wait,
stuff.
no, I have explicit set. I can curse. Fuck. Fuck.
So I actually made the wrong map. So if you guys can leave that, that'd be awesome. I was thinking. There it is. Melon wanted to play, if I needed him, he wanted to play Antigua. So, or I'm sorry, Shakuras. So I made Shakuras but said Antigua. You guys can leave that, that would be awesome.
We did, bro. Get it done.
Just need Ghost. You're not playing.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
We don't want you embarrassing yourself.
I'd put up a fight.
More of a fight than I would. I'll give you that.
I'm almost masters. Soon.
Just a little airborne. It's still good.
Alright, so we got everybody in here. Just gotta kind of wait for. Alright. them good luck, have fun. The reason why I thought this was such a good Terran map, as you said, Pop Rocks, was the fact that drop play is just so strong on this map. If I was Seduce, I'd be expecting something of the sort. And playing as Protoss, I think I'd go some sort of blink play early. Not super early, but I'd probably go to the Twilight Council, maybe go double forge.
Yeah, and that allows you to be able to defend all those ledges much more easy. You can chase down.
Go ahead with the introduction.
Spawning in the northwest side, we have our Terran from Psionic Aftermath. Give it up for Ghost.
Woo!
And in the southeast corner from TKO Gaming, we have HTTK Seduce.
Alright, and I actually thought your introductions were phenomenal last game. I'm actually, like, no matter how hard I try to have passion, like, during these introductions, it just doesn't happen. Ever.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of like you're talking to yourself.
If I knew what I was doing, I mean, I'd be a lot better of a caster, but I have no clue what I'm doing.
That's totally fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, basically all you can tell from here is that he built the supply depot at his ramp, which could mean that he is thinking about walling off, but that's inconclusive. The benefit to walling off, and yeah, he did decide to build the barracks there. The benefit to walling off is that you basically deny information from the Protoss. So our Protoss is scouting on 13, and if he decides to cancel making his barracks and start making the other supply depot, he'll prevent our Protoss from getting in. And the benefit of that, and he actually thinks it isn't cross only, so he's definitely going to, Terran's definitely going to be able to get that wall off. The benefit of doing that is...
But he changed his mind,
yeah,
and that it is cross only.
You know, everybody's so used to playing on the ladder, so just habitually you go around the map, but then you kind of realize, like, oh wait, you know, these are forced cross, and he's going to deny information. So this forces Seduce to think, you know, is he 1-1-1ing me like the other guy did? I have to do now a safer one-gate expo at this point, so just really, it's a good choice by Ghost to do that. And it looks like he is possibly going to get the probe as well. Fell off our camera, but he does get the probe. Basically no information for Seduce, so Ghost really with the upper hand here, and it looks like he is going to go for that fast CC. But the Protoss doesn't know that, so he has to build the Zealot, and he's going to have to get a Stalker, much like last game. And that's going to make it a lot harder for him to really get an economic advantage. It looks like Ghost is going to have the upper hand in the early game.
Warp gate research on the way for HTTK Seduce.
And he decided to chrono boost the Stalker and the Warp Gate. So this SCV is actually probably not long for this world. Ghost did see that he chrono boosted both of them. Generally what that means is that he plans on early aggression. And yeah, it looks like this SCV is going to die. Unfortunate, but, you know, it got all the information he needed. He saw one gas, he saw, you know, the Stalker and the Warp Gate being chronoed. Basically just saw standard, you know, normal play. Chrono boosting that Stalker out generally means you're going to go push out. And these 3 Marines being on the map is actually quite risky at this point. Simply because that Zealot and Stalker, with that chrono boost, are definitely on the map. That's the only reason why you would decide to chrono boost that. And since these 3 Marines are out here, it actually looks like they're going to be 2 ships in a night. As the Stalker moves up, starts to move up the ramp up, he's going to wait for the Zealot. Sees that the bunker's done. These 3 Marines actually could potentially do a lot of damage. Seduce is fortunate enough to not have built any sentries, so he didn't lose any of those, but these Marines are definitely going to be worth their weight. Definitely delaying mining time and going to kill as many probes as possible. It looks like he is only able to get 2 workers. 3 workers killed in total, so 2 right there, but that delayed mining time is basically worth 150 minerals. And it kind of gets into your unit, your opponent's head, because then your opponent's thinking, you know, how did he get here? Plus the information that Ghost was able to get. Ghost saw, he saw the gateway, and he did see the robo finishing. if he was paying attention to it. So really, really good move by Ghost. Fortunate that it worked, was a little risky, but well worth it.
Those Marine sacrifices hopefully won't be in vain.
To follow a unit, it's Control F. But it looks like Ghost needs a little bit more information, but unfortunately, I think it's Control F. It's either Control F or Control Shift F. Yeah. Yep.
Doesn't work.
Maybe it's D's
You gotta
grid.
select the unit and then Control F.
Yeah.
They stim on the way for Ghost.
Yep, Stim on the way. Fairly standard play from both people. We are seeing a Robo-style play, but that Twilight Council is very early for Seduce, which could mean that he's thinking about getting that blink, afraid of drops. Ghost hiding those Marines off to the side, and it looks like they are going to get the Stalker in the middle of the map right now. Yep, able to get the Stalker for no cost at all, and that Observer, if he does see it, he's going to get an Observer and a Stalker for free. Just little advantages that could help him out later on in the game. If he sees it, snipes it, easy peasy. Ghost looking really good at the start of this.
He's oversaturated in the main. Ghost.
He is a touch oversaturated. It's hard for Terrans to saturate because they gotta always pull things off the build. I feel bad for him.
So they stim.
We were right about Blink. He is getting Blink. He actually hasn't even thought about Colossi tech, so he is very scared of the potential for drop play. And his decision is going to be to defend it with gateways. He is going up to 6 gates, and he's going to have Blink +1. It looks like he actually may be planning on doing some Blink obs aggression.
He's gonna have to, or he's gonna be very far behind.
I would have to agree with that, yeah. And I mean, for this map, that's a pretty good choice, but with that scan, I'm pretty sure he was able to see what was going on. And he actually did not see the Twilight Council thing.
It's in a pretty good spot. It's in the back of his main. It's a pretty good spot.
Oh, he did actually see the Twilight Council down. So that he may be thinking that's for Blink, or he may just shrug it off, thinking that it's for a fast +2. I would expect Seduce to go for +2 right now. And if I'm Ghost, when I scan this base, I'm going to realize that there's Stalkers in there. He actually goes +1 armor. But that there's Stalkers in there, and I'm just going to abandon that, be happy I took my fast third, and start getting ready for the attack. There's no real reason for Ghost to be aggressive here, because Seduce didn't do anything greedy, right? He's playing completely safe.
I think his mindset might be just keep the Stalkers on that side of the map for right now.
That could be it. This drop actually incredibly risky. Blink is finished. He's going to be able to snipe one medevac and potentially the second one. He's able to get the unit down and Stim's done, which is extremely good for his gateway unit. Able to snipe the medevac, so these units will be finished here. And the drop basically failed, I would say.
Yeah, but now he's probably free to expand, and he doesn't even have to do the aggression to get back in the game.
For sure. It looks like he's going to drop the factory onto the third. A perfectly fine choice. Just basically to see this expansion, and yeah, that Marine should be able to kill the probe there, so it's always good to have a Marine there, I would say. Now he's got to get it out. He does have a third base, so it's not the end of the world for Ghost, but I felt that he overcommitted to that drop play. He saw the Twilight Council, and it either could have been, charged, or it could have been Blink, right? And I felt that he really just pushed too hard there. Without
Templar
knowing.
Archives on the way for Seduce. We're going to see a bunch of high Templar play.
Why wouldn't he just leave that factory there, just delay that even longer?
I think he was scared of losing it, potentially. He knows that he is trying to expand right now, so the factory essentially did its job. Now he's going to be able to see exactly how many gases and what his saturation's like with that factory later. It looks like he is going to drop, or try to drop it, but find out that it's not there. Ghost is sort of looking for a +1 timing here, but the upgrades for Seduce are just far superior at this point. Simply because Chrono Boost is just very strong. And it looks like
I think this is a bad idea.
Definitely an open middle. He's going to pick up. Blink Stalker's there. He's going to try and blink under. Nope, decide not to. Potentially a misclick, I would say. But very, very risky for Ghost there. to go there. And it looks like his decision now is going to be to stay one base ahead of the Protoss and take a fourth. I'd really like to see Ghost actually decide on whether or not Seduce, because Seduce has to decide either to go to High Templar and Colossus. Obviously, we know he's going Templar at this point. But Ghost has to really find out which one he is going and start making those Vikings or start making those Ghosts, ironically.
Looks like he is going Ghost.
And it looks like he is going Ghost. That's the more logical transition for Seduce, so I think that was a very, very good choice. And yep, he is going to get Mobius Reactor, or Personal Cloaking. That's the Banshee one that I said. Personal Cloaking, and he is going to try and keep up on upgrades, but with Chrono Boost, as long as Seduce is still going on, he's going to have 3-3 way before Ghost can even think of it. So I think taking the fourth base was really his best choice, realizing that this is going to be a macro game.
I'm kind of surprised to not see either player take control of the middle.
Yeah, I mean, our Terran is basically just able to keep it for free, which is very surprising at this point. I think Seduce is basically really, really happy with the fact that he's just able to, you know, macro up at this point, realizing that Protoss late game is so strong. And it looks like we do have a Doom drop going down the far left. I'm not sure if the observer saw it. I think it saw a dropship, but I don't think he could have reacted to it. And it looks like our Protoss isn't actually reacting in his main base. He has a couple cannons down, but he should be able to get this drop in there if he fully commits to it.
Yeah, unfortunately all the stalkers are in the middle of the field. So that's not good.
Looks like he ended up stopping the drop right now. It looks like he wants to, Ghost wants to take the middle of the map back from these stalkers. And then drop, possibly. Nope.
We do have two Colossus in the natural, so he should be able to defend fairly easily.
No range on the Colossus, though.
Very true. Range is only halfway done. It feels like it was a misstep. He should have had it by now with two Colossus out. Oh wait, he's producing them two at a time, so he does have two Robos. Our Terran taking the middle of the map once again. He actually never saturated his fourth base. I think he's just using it for mules at this time. And that observer over the middle of the map army is just invaluable at this point.
Yeah, both. He has one outside the natural and the middle. Is very good positioning.
Yeah, and I mean Ghost taking his fifth base on the far right. I'd like him to start making more production. Just because the production of a Protoss is so scary this late in the game. He really needs to kind of find out what he's doing with his supply too, because he's got a drop ship on the top right, two drop ships with units there, and he's got 4 drop ships at the bottom with units, and this little army in the middle. And the Protoss is really recognizing this at this point and trying to just kind of.
I think
brick by brick.
I believe that's why he's waiting for the move out to really make those drops happen. But yeah, the Protoss putting down all these photon cannons is really going to keep him safe.
Looks like this one drop going into the third is very, very short-lived. The drop into the main is actually going to be successful partly. There's already a Colossus there. The Colossus looks like it's going to get sniped. And the one in the third is trying to find an opening. He's going to start working on the next. He's hoping to snipe it at this point. He was able to get the Colossus in the main, and he's killing the stalkers one by one. Only 4 there.
When he
gets the snipe on the Nexus at the third. And at this point, he's just got to try and produce to be able to keep up with the Protoss army. Because his one response to this is, I didn't lose any units, and I lost a lot of economy, so I might as well just, you know, move across the map and see what the Terran has. Really, really good drops by Ghost, but now it's time to see if he's going to be able to handle the reaction of the Protoss. I'd really like to see him move down the ramp, personally, simply because that choke point at the natural is so dangerous when Colossi are present, and it looks like there's actually no stalkers with that army. These Vikings are getting 3 hits on these Colossi. One's down, a second one could potentially go down, and a third one if he commits to it, but he decided not to.
He just sacrificed all of his High Templar.
he did just sacrifice all of his High Templars, so now Ghost has a very, very powerful army against this Protoss, who has lost almost all of his economy at this point. His 3-3 is just finishing, so they are going to be on equal footing. And it looks like he's taking a very, very strong lead. Simply just a huge bank there. I'd really like to see him have absolutely more production so that he would be able to, you know, remax faster. But that engagement went very, very well for him. It looks like he's moving his Vikings back in, and he is going to get one more Colossus barely. If he can get through last one with the Vikings, they are going to be worth it. He is not able to. Ghosts are going to come in looking for huge EMPs. He's able to get okay ones at best. These Zealots are all here waiting to get through the force fields that Zeus put up for himself. These Colossus were very strong, and the Warpit. Zeus able to take a huge lead in this fight, despite the fact that those Vikings were able to snipe 3 Colossus, simply to a poor engagement by Ghost. And the blink in on the army, it looks like Ghost simply isn't going to have enough to be able to take out the Protoss Death Ball. Another blink in into the main, and with the Protoss sniping the economy, even though he's completely broke, he may be able to whittle this down eventually, but it's unlikely at this point. Just simply not enough parent to be able to remax as fast as the Protoss could, even though he didn't have any economy really going. Now with the 4th down for the Protoss, it seems like it's going to be completely very grim for Ghost.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if he cleans this up, the Protoss is barely mining at all. I mean, granted, Ghost's SCVs are not mining in his top right base, but if he doesn't lose his production, I think he's not completely out of it, because he's banked.
Stalker's at his 3rd. It looks like the Protoss is going to back off, so I apologize for calling it too early. I really thought that the Protoss could have kept committing to that fight, but maybe he's just kind of backing off to...
if he had centralized his units, I think he would have been able to pick off the production in the main, and that would have closed the game out. But
I agree.
We'll see.
He really needs to start getting medevacs out at this time. Colossi are few and far between. It's mainly just Stalkers, and stemmed units with medevacs on them are very good. I think the big story here is that Zeus knows about these bases really all around the map, but really doesn't have any response to them at this point. He wants to end the game, and his decision is to do that in the production part of the map. It looks like he is going to warp in here, and that's going to end this base at the top right. And it could potentially end the other bases as well, simply because he doesn't have his army out. Looks like Ghost is going to move out because he is going to have to deal with that as soon as possible.
It looks like he may be just going all in right, just trying to end this right now.
Last gas for Ghost.
Giving him all of it he can give him. He does snipe the High Templars.
Simming. Yeah, the High Templars actually didn't have enough energy. The Colossus down, pulling the SCVs.
This game is very, very close. Both people are about mined out here.
The base in the top right goes down as well, but it still has the base basically at the 10 to 12 o'clock. He's going to try and get all these Stalkers, but with Blink, they're very strong. All these Marauders are pretty good against him, and with the medevac, without a lot of energy, it's going to be very close. These Vikings not really able to do anything. The Stalker's starting to retreat. He is going to be able to kill this base if he chooses to. Just both players completely broke, scrapping for every little bit at this point. There is absolutely no production.
Oh, we need to snipe that Colossus. Oh.
The Colossus does back out just in time, but really doesn't have a way to get down here without really compromising his own position.
He's going to pick out some more probes here.
But at this point, these probes aren't really worth as much as you
think. Oh, I do not think he had a GG out of that. I did not think he needed to do that.
I really think he felt a lot worse than he was.
Yeah.
Really close game. I thought it was over, obviously. But the
Ghost really
didn't camp the production like he needed to, and it ended up costing him the game there, I think.
I think that was more of like a mental... You just really felt beat mentally. I don't think you really got a good grasp for how much damage he really did to the economy of the Terran there of Ghost. I mean, he wasn't mining at all. He was mining twice as much as Ghost was. Yeah. But Ghost really pulled him out there. That's good. He should not have won that game.
Simply, Seduce just didn't know about those bases in the top right until he decided to build that pylon there. And seeing those bases, I think, made him feel just really, really bad, realizing that they were all there, despite the fact that those zealots were doing damage.
Yep. I mean, he cost him a good chunk of all the money he had banked. So, by attacking with the zealots. It was a crazy game. So I don't call him early there, Logan.
Yeah, right? Lesson learned, sorry. It builds suspense, you know, me calling it and then Ghost basically slapping me over the face and telling me that it wasn't over.
Well, I mean, it makes sense though. If he had all of his units up there, up in the main, it would have been over. But he decided to spread them out. I also thought that he should have put his Nexus, remade his Nexus immediately. I don't think there was any reason to not remake it right away. I think waiting on that really kind of made him feel bad later when he had to go back to building the economy up.
Yeah. Basically right now we're just waiting for the map decision in player. And then I'm going to make...
So this is 1-1?
It is currently 1-1 in the best of 5 series. After Ghost, we have one more player. I believe he's also Terran at this point. We'll see, depending on the matchup, if he wants to play or I'll play or whatever will happen. I'm happy to at least get one on the board, to be honest. You're always kind of. I was really nervous that you're gonna have some trouble today. Trigger Happy. So it looks like Trigger Happy's gonna play for him on Cloud Kingdom. Let me make that and then invite everybody. The reason you hear one caster is because I am louder than most.
And I'm not really talking because I suck at this.
Trigger Happy. Let me just put Trigger Happy in the other spot. Let me just do a little scouting to see what Trigger Happy is specifically. It looks like he's a Protoss, obviously Masters League. I believe he's around 1,400 points. He's about 1333, so about equal level. It looks like he's played 15. It looks like he's played about 500 games this season, so very, very good.
Dude has forecasters? Oh my god.
Apparently they got forecasters. Would you be okay, Fudar, if I asked you to leave for this game in case there's lag?
Oh yeah, sure.
Are you cool with that? Sorry, I just don't want like 8 people watching the game in case we have a problem. Thank you. You still want to do the calls?
Yeah, I'll watch the stream and
You
feel
want
like,
to do
yeah,
the calls?
good team.
Because you got solid calls, man.
Yep. He's a boss.
You got 4 casters? Wow, that's a lot.
What clan is this again?
This is clan TKO Gaming.
TKO.
TKO Gaming. I think I've heard of them before. This should be fine with 6 people in here. I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong, right?
There's Pop Rock doing his own profile
Yeah.
for some
So
dumbass reason.
check out the match history today, boys. How you like that?
Why are you doing that? You're just showing off today. I won today.
I look at all those wins and then all those losses under it.
Yeah, for real.
Ignore those.
Let's investigate more closely.
So, looking back, I'm trying to find some TVPs for Trigger Happy in his match history. The reason being is generally players, you know, around our level don't generally have more than one build, but they do their favorite build on the ladder. So it's really interesting to see what they kind of do. Well, on Tal'Darim, he did a Blink Stalker all in, which would be very good on Cloud Kingdom also.
It's such a good build for Cloud Kingdom. I mean,
They're both ready, out of curiosity.
I would say that the...
And this Trigger Happy guy plays every map. Condemned Ridge, don't care. Plays it.
Go, 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 go.
Let's go, go, go.
You ready? Let's go!
Alright, I'll tell you where our guy is, and then you can guess where the other one is. Alright. Well, no, you're watching the stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just have a small delay.
Destructible rocks can be destroyed to open up new paths. Alright, in the bottom left corner, we have, from Psionic Aftermath, the Blue Terran Ghost. Woo! And in the top right corner, the Protoss from TKO Gaming, we have Trigger Happy.
I think Trigger Happy actually has the thing about these like GSTL style clan wars is that like the person that picks Aster has a good advantage. Because Trigger Happy has now seen Ghost do a style he plays against Protoss, right? He also got to pick the map that he wanted to play. So it really, this is why all kills seem to be so uncommon. Is simply because Trigger Happy now gets to pick his map. He also gets to pick exactly what he wants to do against somebody who's probably going to do something similar to what he's already seen. So because of that, Trigger Happy should have a general idea of how this game should already go out. And I think it'd be very interesting. Also to note, the reason why he chose Cloud Kingdom, little lag there, I guess, for me. But the reason why he chose Cloud Kingdom is, one, it's fairly difficult to drop somebody. There's really only a drop path into the main from the top right, and then the second drop path is over the rocks on the natural. So because of that, it's really, really difficult for Ghost to do that similar drop style, and it looks like he is going to go for gas right away on this map. On the other hand, Ghost, now, he might have been really nervous the first game, or he wasn't really feeling great, and now he already has a win under his belt, so that confidence is now renewed. A second thing that's huge is he was able to kill that SCV before even the Marine came out. So now he gets to do absolutely anything he wants to do on this map because there is no Protoss vision. Really just a good win, and it should make Trigger Happy a little uneasy, especially if he's already nervous. Losing that probe may make him feel, you know, like he made a big mistake, and may make him make more mistakes later. It looks like he is thinking of expanding soon. He sent a probe down to the natural, strangely, and then now decides to send him across the map. So, oh wait, never mind, he's sending him back.
I really get the feeling that he's gonna do this Blink Stalker all in here.
He would be getting his second gas about now if he is thinking about doing something like that. He may be waiting for the Stalker to come out to get that. And it looks like he is chrono boosting out the Stalker. It is strange that he is...
He's banking minerals, yeah.
Is banking to expand at this point. And it looks like our Terran saw the fact that our opponent isn't able to get any scout information, realizes that Trigger Happy is most likely doing an expand, and is going for a similar, possibly 1-1-1 that the first game had. It looks like his first choice is going to be to get a Hellion. It's going to be very interesting to see if he then decides to do Hellion drop on this map. They are actually surprisingly decent, simply because it hits earlier than you would expect. So it looks like he is getting his starport right now.
And this fake bunker in the front should dissuade this stalker from really pursuing the expansion.
And Observer is talking, which shouldn't be happening if everybody's casting, right? This stalker, if he really wanted to, would actually poke past these Marines to get a good look and then back out. He actually has enough shields and health to prevent that, or to scout that vision, but he decided not to go for it there, so a slight misstep by Trigger Happy. He may decide that, you know, seeing 3 Marines in there was possibly enough. And it looks like we're at 3 Hellions and a medevac coming out. The goal is going to be to have 4 Hellions for the medevac, and then he's going to start doing drop harass at this point. And hopefully that drop harass is going to do enough damage where Ghost can either then expand or just kill his opponent at that point. From our Protoss, we see, you know, the general response most Terrans is just get the Robo, get 3 gates up, start playing safe, especially when you see that gas and you don't know what's going on. I love the fact that he's sending these Marines out first. I'd really like him to not show the dropship at this point. And it looks like he is actually going to see the dropship. So, kind of a misstep by Ghost, and really let Trigger Happy know what's going on. Trigger Happy now should be responding by putting units in his base.
I think he's actually. I think he's going to be. He wants to bait these units back in the back of the base and attack to the front with the Hellions, because he is skirting around an observer path as well as the watchtower path. So it could work out in his favor. I like the fact. I disagree. I do like the fact that he showed the medevac because he wants to pull those units back.
He did in fact hide the Marines, or hide the Hellions, which is the important part. It looks like he is going to drop them. They have them already, which is pretty good. And right when he sees the stalkers and baits them back, he's just going to back out. And these Hellions are going to do a ton of damage as a natural, basically killing almost every single probe here. If he's able to stay a touch longer, yep, they're just lining up. His Hellions get a little caught, but he's able to get out with all of them. For basically free, he's able to kill 9 workers and justify the delay.
The harass is still going on, just back and forth in the main as well. So he's going to send those Hellions back down, poke again, see if he can kill a couple more, but he's going to see that he can't. Oh, he might...
The Sentry, he really needs to back out with these Marines, or at least get the drop medevac out of
Oh my, he is slaughtering workers in the natural. 24 kills. I mean, this is a wrap.
Hellions are worth their weight in gold basically right now. The Protoss is down to 17 workers, and at that point you are just at a giant deficit. He's ended up building 4 more Hellions. It looks like he's going to keep them to either A, delay any possible aggression from Trigger Happy, or just use them to do even more harassment, possibly just end this game. At this point we see the Warp Prism with the potential drop, but it looks like Ghost is going to get vision of that Warp Prism, and yes, he sees it. So he knows exactly what's happening. And the Hellions look like they are going to skirt into the natural, try and kill a couple more workers. At this point, the Hellions aren't even worth anything. Every worker they kill is just a huge percentage of the economy of the Protoss.
He is just searching Blue Flame as if he really just needed to do any more damage.
Looks like he's trying to get an early win here. Another worker down.
I mean, this is brutal.
Well, if you go to the income tab, we can see Ghost has 3 times the amount. There is a drop ship or a warp prism in the third or main. Now going to the third to try and stop that expansion, which it will delay. But at this point, even if he cancels that,
the damage is done.
The damage is done, without a doubt. As Ghost, you feel good. You just simply tack up to what you normally do. It looks like he's going to go to Cloaked Banshees now. Just to add more damage to it. I think that's interesting for the fact that he did see the robotics ability. But he also saw the fact that Trigger Happy is trying to go to Colossus. And he might realize that Banshees are just the right choice against Colossus at this point, simply because they can't shoot up.
It would be cool though if they could shoot up.
No, not for any other race than mine.
No reason to make Archons ever.
Yep, 2 Banshees in the base right now. Cloak actually only halfway done. I think this is a really, really poor choice. Then again, the Blue Flame Hellions are the natural, so yeah, this is GG. Nothing Trigger happy to do. Ghost basically said that game, I'm gonna do some harassment. If you can deal with it, we'll go into the mid game. If you can't deal with it,
I'll take the game right now.
yeah, we're gonna move on to the game. So just really, really, really good harassment. And our Protoss just simply had too thin of a defense to be able to handle it.
Psionic Aftermath up now 2-1 in the Clan War versus TKO Gaming.
And this next game will be game point.
Could Ghost go in for the all kill?
You know, I think that was actually a wonderful decision from Ghost to do that on that map. He realized that, you know, Blink Stalkers are very popular. This Protoss just saw me play a standard game. This is generally a Protoss favorite map, depending on where you engage, and decided to do something that, you know, is a little out of the ordinary. You don't really see it often. Just a really solid decision, I believe.
I really think that him showing that medvac was pivotal, because that's what you expect. Like the Protoss isn't too surprised by. I mean, yeah, it's early, but he's not surprised to see a medvac in Marines, and really just keeping those Hellions secret. I mean, that's scary. And him able to pull those units back into the base and then just destroy the natural was beautifully done.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I thought it was actually a slight misstep because those Marines are generally there at that time. But seeing that medevac shows the Protoss, okay, there's going to be a drop, right? This is what I expect. It's very. I saw, you know, I'm guessing 111. I see the medevac. This is a formal 111. It confirms it for me. You know, I feel really good. And then those Hellions come into the natural.
And you're just frowning.
Because that's not a part of the 111 at all. It's actually very, very rare. And it's like you said, it just drowned him. Just into the mid game. He had 17 workers. In any matchup, if you lose 22 workers that early, it's over. Generally. So at this point, we're just waiting for their next player. And then I'm going to start sending out the invite. They're a little delayed, perhaps confused slightly.
Were you gonna finish that statement?
No, they're confused slightly.
Kind of like you in that statement. And how to finish.
Man, my feet are cold. I have this problem at college. I'm so happy, like, I have AC and my girlfriend doesn't, so I crank it down, and then it gets too cold and I regret it. So, that story wasn't important to this cast. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Oddly enough, my feet were cold as well. I had to put on the socks a little while ago, and I haven't had to do that all summer.
We're basically, like, Eskimo bros.
Yeah.
You have so much in common. You guys should get married.
Maybe.
Our girlfriends would probably be very upset.
Have them get married and live in with you guys.
Yeah, true. What, Lindsay? What's up? I want to see a Zerg. I think.
Phil Miku asked if you can go bio after Hellions or no. It is totally possible to go bio. If you saw, I don't know if you saw on the screen, it's kind of hard to, but when he made his first 3 Hellions, he ended up building he had a reactor for it, right? And he ended up switching it to the barracks. You can go that route where you get stim. Like, he had stim, he had a medevac out. It's very easy to transition into that standard bio play. It's just so happened that Ghost was able to scout, you know, hey, he's going Colossus, he's got basically no workers, there's no way he can do anything against Banshees right now.
I think the main point for the Banshees as well was, like, So the only thing that stops his blue flame hellions from doing more damage is the stalkers. And when you have those banshees out, the stalkers have to react. So he knows, like, he's just going to sack those banshees just to end the game. He's going to go in and clean up the rest of the probes, and he's going to have no choice. Trigger Happy is going to have no choice but just to GG out. So it was well played.
I think that's a solid build also. Like, I
Yeah,
think Trigger Happy seemed a little nervous. Losing that probe you don't normally do at all. Like, there's no reason to lose that. He scouted gas. He saw a 1-1-1 in another match before. Like, he was probably nervous about it. We saw him move the probe down to the natural and then, like, move it back up and then send it to scout again and then go, no, I want to build a natural or an expo. Like, we saw that kind of nervousness in Trigger. And just when you're playing against drop play, you need to be just completely there. And just, he seemed nervous. Ghost did a really, really good deceptive play. Ended up doing a ton of damage. And just called it really easily. We may end this one game early if Ghost ends up killing one more person, which would be pretty impressive to play on, you know, two people's maps, you know, and they saw two styles of yours and you end up winning the third game would be really, really cool. If not, we're gonna have a rubber match after this. Wonder what's going on. Maybe they can't find a third player, or they might forfeit. No, I don't know if that's true.
Best strat, Mass Hellion into BC.
Yeah. And the evil face goes with that, without a doubt. So we're simply still waiting. You could say he could TKO, clan TKO, that's very possible.
I thought it was clever.
It is. We like puns here. They were DTF, that's funny. The guy that made this clan war is actually named DTF Bacon. So that's funny that they were Melon's pun was more elaborate than yours, I guess you could say.
I feel sad now. I put a lot of thought into that.
It's been a good few minutes here. I wonder what's going on. Maybe they're trying to ice our player. Oh. 7 minutes of decision making. He wants Shakur's Plateau.
So what's going on here, boys? Our time is precious.
I'm trying to invite you.
Invite me, bro. I've been waiting. Staring at my screen, haven't been gone. That's a lie, I was gone.
Give me a hot second here.
Cold. Almost liquid, huh? I've seen him on the ladder, I think. And somebody's... something.
Oh, kicking Frodo out. I remember, right?
Excuse me?
I'm not letting Frodo in.
Why?
Just because there's so many people in here.
His name's not Frodo, it's Food Art. You're fucking retarded.
Sorry, whatever. Sorry.
What's up with this clairvoyance?
They need one more person, if I recall.
I'm gone for like 30 seconds and both chats blow up.
Oops, I left the chat. Oh, whatever. Let's get this on the road.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Alright, well, then I'll be right back.
Just trying to get this thing going, so trying to make sure that we don't have anybody else. So we're waiting on Zushin, I guess. Hey, just 1 second. Oh my god. Can't have 1,000,000 people in here. Ugh. Oh. You there, Pop Rocks? Pop rock.
So
Cobain has my host. That's okay.
the guy's not very smart.
No. That's okay. Whatever, it's fine. It's because this one guy in here, Zushin, has that stupid, like, people can't talk to you unless they're your friend thing.
I have that on.
Dumb.
It's
Don't.
stupid. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass.
I have it on. People go and tell me the obvious. I'm terrible at laddering.
Yeah, but who cares? You just ignore him or say LOL, and it pisses him off.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, top left corner from Psionic Aftermath, we have the blue Terran, Ghost.
Woo!
Got a fan club in here. And in the bottom right corner from TKO Gaming, we have the red Zerg, Almost Liquid.
No cheers for him. So TVZ, I'm definitely gonna stress my knowledge of the matchup for sure here. Hopefully I'll do my best. We'll probably see some reactor to Hellions, maybe some drops and Banshees. This map, it's really good to try and spread out your opponent, simply because the third is so far away for Zerg. Because they generally want that one that's up the ramp. But it's going to be interesting, to say the least. We're not really going to know much early. Almost every TVZ is fairly standard at this point. The real first decision really comes from Ghost, whether he's going to decide to do mech or bio.
Once again, an observer speaks.
Yeah, it's okay though, he spoke to observer. But annoying nevertheless. Ugh.
I can't type because I was gonna type blame Canada.
This is why you don't need 4 fucking casters.
Yeah, this is why you don't. Well, we're just gonna drop them.
Drop kick their family.
Drop kick their family.
Sorry, I got carried away there. I meant it though.
We're just gonna drop them and then continue playing. It's actually interesting that they got dropped at the same time.
It's because they're the same ISP. They're probably right next to each other. I hope this guy destroys Almost Liquid if I can show bias.
Is it because of the name or because of the drop casters or because you want us to win?
Just because this guy rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah? Is it the fact that he's talking like he's 6 pooled? But decided to basically do a 15 hatch instead?
It's just his overall demeanor and lack of
Ghost,
brain
come down
power.
with a challenge and come at me, bro.
Yeah. It looks like he's going for gas again. Normally when you see that wall off, people generally just shrug off, say no gas, so it's kind of unique that Ghost is able to get that gas. Probably, you know, a slight SCV cut. But, you know, creates that wall off. And
Ooh, a
like
double gas.
Double gas. You know, my first gas is going to be Cloak Banshee. It's going to be very interesting where he decides to place the starport. Or if he just decides to go, you know, reactor to Hellions, just middle about it. But that doesn't generally need, you know, this much gas. So, interesting play by Ghost. I'm really excited to see what he decides to do from here.
I would say that the safest place for him to put that would be in the back of his base. He should have time to snipe And the Overlord.
With that factory placement, though, it really looks like the very standard reactor Hellion play. So
Yeah.
maybe you do need 3 gases, or 2 gases, and I'm just silly and not up to date on my matchup. He is spreading his Marines, though, ready to kind of stop any Overlords from diving in. But the only Overlord that's a real threat is to the south at his natural.
He should have plenty of time.
To be able to
I think he'll be dropping a starport.
He does have enough gas for it at this point.
Yeah.
The reactor is very interesting. He could be.
You don't need 2 gas. Oh, hoo. Okay.
And
Maybe
you see
Ghost
Ghost
built
Lord,
for my
and it
favorite
looks like
build.
he is going to do both. He is going to do Hellions and the starport.
Yep.
Very standard heavy harass play. So I mean, it should be very similar to last game, where you do that very, very strong Hellion harass up front, Banshees in the back, whatever you need to do, and really just start doing damage. Almost Liquid deciding to get the Roach more in, because he is expecting those Hellions. And at this point, all Almost Liquid can say is that there's and possible Hellions. He could assume that there's an expansion behind this, but there's really no way for him to confirm that at this point. Bossling.
That Ling died for what he believed in.
It looks like the Ling was only able to see the reactor in the barracks, so nothing else. He does see 2 Marines.
Somehow he managed to do 25 damage to, or 15 damage to a Hellion.
Maybe the Hellion was like just on move command or something of the sort.
These Hellions look like they might get shut down. Yep.
But that's totally fine. That's not the Hellion's purpose. The Hellion's purpose here is just to basically stop the creep. You know, the Roaches are coming, but it's no big deal. Depending on if these Roaches literally just walk across the map, these Banshees are already going to be out. And that's actually a pretty decent committal from our Zerg to start sending Roaches just across the map.
It looks like he does want to put on some early pressure, and now he's going to start journeying again behind it. He's going to be taking his 3rd.
And the first Roach is now in the natural, but Banshee comes out just in time, and it's going to start doing work. This is a good attack by Almost Liquid, because it kind of shows the cards of exactly what...
and more important, maybe, it keeps those Banshees out of his mineral line. It's going to give him a lot more time to react.
And he's not repairing, actually, so Zerglings are going to get in, but these Hellions should be able to do enough work for them. And the Banshees staying back while the other Roaches go into the mineral line and start doing damage. Just an immediate pull from our Terran Ghost to really clean up these Roaches. And even though they were able to, you know, they didn't do much damage, he's been droning behind us. He's up to 50 now, compared to Ghost's 21 for CVs. And I'd feel very, very good about that attack if I was Almost Liquid.
Evo chamber is down for Almost Liquid. We could expect some Spore Crawlers down to support the Banshee push.
The Banshees now are really going to be expected to do a lot of damage. The Evo chamber's going down for the Spore Crawler, but it looks like he's actually dropping them all at the natural at this point. 3 Spore Crawlers go down.
He does have 2 going down in the main as well.
3 going down in the main.
Oop, 3 in the main.
So
He's got
really
2 more Queens in production. I mean, he should be fine. Well, if he needs some Roaches to ward off these Hellions, but.
Hellions may actually be what's split.
Oh wow! It was definitely it was a big flaw in judgment to not make a few Roaches or a Spine Crawler to defend. I mean, he had to know those Hellions were coming.
And after his 6 workers killed, he comes back with a good 18 of his own. So really, really strong play. I wish he didn't sacrifice the Hellions per se, because he could have easily kept them in between the 2nd and 3rd and basically made this 3rd obsolete. But at this point, Ghost still doesn't know that exists. And I think at this point, now that the natural and the main aren't really able to get into, he really needs to check that with his Banshees.
I would expect to see a 3rd command center coming down pretty soon.
Fireplay looks like the choice, and it looks like our Terran is going to decide to do mech with those fast 3 bases, or fast 4 gases. Armory going down. He's still building Banshees, So it looks like Banshees and Thors are going to be the choice here to really just kind of stop this. These two Banshees found a hole in the back of the main, able to kill 3 workers.
4,
5, 6,
7, 8.
9. Just really, really solid play there. We're now up to 27 workers killed, and our Zerg only has a 7 worker lead. The only thing he's got going for him right now is that Ghost still has no clue that third base is up.
At the same time, I mean,
We're almost liquid.
we've kind of got Liquid on tilt here. He's missing injects. I think he's been really rattled by this maneuvering.
It could possibly be the case. It looks like he's actually extending too far with these Banshees, and he is going to lose 1. He really needs to back out here. There's no reason to have these Banshees attacking here. And if I'm almost liquid, I kind of take a deep breath. But the Hellion harass just kind of crop dust a bunch of workers. He's now up to 36. Just both games we've seen Ghost play, he's really just going for the harassment and trying to build up some sort of defense at home.
Here comes the Banshee at the third. He's going to finally scout this.
When these mutas are out, this harassment is effectively over, but he's going to have a great defense at home with those three Thors making 2 at a time. Basically knowing that mutas are the response here. And he really needs to, once he sees these, he needs to just kind of go home and keep this Banshee as long as he can.
He has decided to double expand down in the 6 o'clock position.
I think it's really interesting he chose that really far expansion from him, seeing mutas. I would have much rather see him take that base much closer to his natural, or his main.
Well, he didn't, did he actually scout those mutas? He never scouted the mutas. So he doesn't know that they're there.
He saw the Spire making, and he saw the mutas. He should have known that they were coming at this point. He's been making Thors this whole time, but maybe he saw them, but just didn't put 2 and 2 together. And it looks like just a ton of harassment from both sides here this whole game. These Thors very, very slow to get to the party at this point. But they are going to get 2 mutas for free, which any muta they're able to get is worth it. Unfortunately, these mutas have killed about 18 workers, or not 18, like 10 workers at this point.
Now we're up to 16.
Yeah,
or 14.
Completely crop dusted the whole mineral line at the main. But with 4 bases going up, and he's going to have 4 orbital commands, as long as those bases in the bottom aren't scouted, these Thors are going to be very dangerous.
Here comes
mutas dying is a big deal, because now that map presence is gone, and these Hellions are going to be able to do even more than what they did before. With Blue Flame now as well. Looks like he is going to go for the Queen here, but he should just target fire the wing.
He does get Jimmy.
Gets the Queen right when the eject pops, so he's going to have a full round of no injection. Really fortunate for him to have that happen. And it looks like our Zerg's about fed up with this, and he's going to start moving across the map. The big question here is he going to be able to hold here?
I'm not sure that he has enough Hellions. I think he may have sacrificed too many Hellions in the early game to really... we'll see.
I think he realizes exactly what you're saying, and he's currently making 3 Hellions at a time.
Even out of the tech labs too, so he is really worried about this.
I think he's going to try and kite the lane, target fire the mutas. All the mutas go down basically instantly. Now it's just the roaches. And with the Banshee there, they're eventually going to be cleaned up. It's whether or not he can save these roaches. And all the roaches are going to have to force to go back, but these Banshees basically do whatever they want. Hellions realize exactly what just happened, and they're going to start moving to the natural. It looks like with that hold, Ghost is going to be taking a really sizable lead, especially if he can take economic damage.
Oh no. I just don't see why you don't make a Sonic Crawler.
I think, why not there? Or maybe put your Evo chambers down to make some form of wall where you can just block it with the Queen.
See, I've never understood that about Zerg. Like, Zergs do not often use their Evos or buildings to wall and concave, and I know when I play Zerg, I definitely take advantage of that.
I think the big thing here is that you can tell that almost Liquid has been rattled. He's got a Queen in the back of his main. He's been making pure roaches here because that is the answer to mech. But with these Banshees out on the map, they're going to be able to do a lot here. And every time a Banshee's here, a Corruptor's moving across now. But this is going to be able to do 3 damage. There's nothing to defend against it. Or no detection at all. And just the big story story here is even though he's been throwing away a lot of Hellions and he's been doing a ton of econ damage, the fourth and the third base are just absolutely huge for Ghost. Even though he doesn't have a ton of workers at each of them and he's not producing workers at this moment like he should be.
Those mules are just really, yep.
Just
Oh.
ridiculous. In fact, income might be above the Zerg, even though the Zerg has 15 workers.
Not anymore.
The Zerg is having to build things. Yeah, not anymore. The Zerg is having to build things he doesn't want to build, right? He has to build Corruptors. He doesn't really want those right now. They're not helpful unless Banshees are there. He has to build Roaches for the mech, but at this point, you know, there's so many Thors at home where even the Thors can do decent against the Roaches.
So he's really just forced to make use of that Spire.
Yeah, and I mean, since he has no economy to build a big Muto Ball, and
more Hellions coming into the natural, and it's completely undefended. He's going to have a few shots here. He's just going to absolutely just destroy.
Over to the main because there's really no reason to even try and engage these Roaches. Just
10 more workers, 12 more workers,
yeah.
12 more workers.
Another 2 queens on the way. I mean, I don't think there's been a time this whole game where we haven't seen a queen making. Well, right now, but I mean, he's going 2-2 for his Roaches. He's getting, but Terran's already getting +3 vehicle weapons. I think the only
to 9 Thors.
I think the only complaint you have right now is that you don't really have an answer to Max Roach. Thors do okay, but they focus fire air first, and with those Corruptors there, the Thors are going to have some trouble with all these Roaches.
I'd like to see some tanks come out.
Yeah, I'd like to see some tanks. He's just starting siege, but these Roaches are knocking on the door and they can bust in here. Here's all the Thors. The SCV's being pulled, and he is focus firing the Roaches like he should, realizing that the Thors would target air if necessary. Pulls the SCVs back, and I think our Zerg really is running out of answers here.
One Thor in that engagement too.
Yep. I think infestation and more harassment at the natural, killing even more workers. We're now up to 87 workers killed for Ghost, and a total of 57 drones total for almost Liquid. I think the big thing here is that even though the Zerg's getting his 2-2, there's no infestation pit anywhere to be found.
I don't see. Is there really a reason for him to be moving out with these Thors before he has a decent amount of tanks?
I think this is actually incredibly risky. He could be thinking that, you know, the game is almost over, but something like this is basically what you see every meching Terran used to. But he is going to try and focus fire these Roaches. This is the best opportunity for almost Liquid here. But with the +3 attacks, or +3 weapons, is actually.
Oh, he just sacrifices those tanks. If Almost Liquid's going to do anything, it's going to be right now.
He's currently building 13 more Roaches, but not making any more drones. Ghost isn't actually...
Oh, he is able to one-shot these Thors.
Yeah.
He's just doing a ton...
We're going to be able to do enough damage. Hopefully, these Thors are all going down. It looks like our mech army is dwindling. But it's too slow to move back, so he's basically going to have to keep on fighting here and hope that the Hellions and these 4 Thors are going to be able to take out the Roaches eventually. At this point, he's producing 4 Thors at a time anyway at home, so this is basically just preventing Almost Liquid from making more drones.
Yeah, I think he just let Almost Liquid back in the game.
I would agree that this was a poor decision. More Hellions going into the third here to do some more economic damage if possible.
Oh
like
my.
Trying to tell him, you know, hey, I've killed almost 100 workers.
108.
This game, please, I'm tired of this. You know, I think the only thing that Almost Liquid has going for him is that he may think that Ghost is only on 2 bases, which simply is not the case. I think actually Ghost not making more SCVs this game was a good decision, to be honest. The reason being is that he's been simply a mule economy this whole time, and he has plenty of minerals at his 3rd and his 4th, where he doesn't have to necessarily be worried about mining out at this point. And with 4 tanks at a time here, if he simply just maxes out, you know, sooner than later, and then moves out, he should be totally fine. I think moving these Thors out here is a poor decision, though.
Mineral field depleted.
Finally, infestation pit going down at the 25-minute mark. Hive is still, you know, a long way away, and we can see that Zerg has taken economic damage if you simply look at the gas count. A Zerg having 2,300 minerals, or gas and no minerals, shows that his economy has been ravished this game. Still at 40 workers and with no plan of making any more. Probably because he doesn't want to lose anymore at this point. But 3 more Hellions going into the third. Injects simply just haven't been there. That queen has a ton of energy. There's no inject on that base. But with simply no production, or no real money to produce, every Hellion killing a worker is worth its weight in gold.
120 workers killed.
120 workers. Wino's fine.
There's no reason for him to allow this abuse. I mean,
you would think at some point he would get some fine. Saying he doesn't have the money is actually completely wrong. It looks like our Zerg is just dying to get out of here. Maybe is doing a doom drop, producing more roaches. This is basically going to be all in. And it looks like Ghost actually isn't going to see it. So this is going. Maybe seeing those. Seeing those corruptors there is going to be a...
He doesn't care. He's just going to go. He's just going to go.
Just go. I think this is actually the wrong choice, simply because he is supply blocked at this point, and there is a giant drop, and he has a huge...
On the other note, he can't just lift his base. And this is going to be over.
Base at this point, but, I mean, it would have been really easy for him to just defend himself. It looks like he's not even going to siege up. He's just going to power through here. Potentially just start killing these roaches that are all funneling in for the swords, 2 swords at his base, trying to be as cost efficient as possible. The natural goes down here. It looks like our Terran is going to start moving up to the main base, potentially killing the lair and all the tech, but those roaches are really the only scary part, and with no real production here for our Terran, he is going to eventually have to go back home. And it looks like he is sending the tank, figuring with siege mode they are going to be enough to just pain.
But if they're caught, the problem is Liquid can see him coming back and he'll be able to catch him unsieged, unless he sieges up right now.
He actually didn't see him there, so it looks like he's a little bit confused, realizing that they are coming back, and these tanks are being chased down. But simply in a line, these roaches are going to be so much faster, and he is going to have to siege up here, and hopefully just do as much damage as he possibly can.
Oh my.
Just a huge massacre of units here. Roach is able to be cost efficient enough, but absolutely no workers. There are 2 workers on the map, a total of 151 killed. The Hellions went directly to the third, and now all Ghost has to do is basically take his time, take a break, reproduce an army, and just slowly kill these roaches until this game is over.
Looks like he's just going to go for it right now.
And, I mean, why not? You have the upgrades, and all you know he has on the map, building more Hellions and swords in the background. It looks like Mech is going to be able to take a game. Ghost with the all-kill for Psionic Aftermath, killing TKO 3-1 after the loss in the first game by Nas. Just really impressive harassment in those last 2 games. Truly incredible play by Ghost.
That was hard to watch. That was brutal.
I'm really happy we all play Protoss here, not Zerg, because that was brutal. Absolutely.
I play Zerg.
Watch. Oh, I'm sorry you had to watch that. If you're a Zerg player out there, build a spine, maybe 2.
Make use of your Evo chambers and your buildings. I mean,
just harass.
Stop the genocide.
If you look at the units lost that whole game, they were actually equal, but those Hellions didn't matter. Every drone they killed, even if he killed 3 drones for 4 Hellions, it would have been totally worth it, because he was just demolishing that economy all the way through.
Pain. Congrats to Ghost.
Congrats to Ghost, winning it for Psionic Aftermath in his first debut. Very impressive. Yeah. GG's all around. They're being very good sports to us, and I think that's everything. Yeah. I think next week we should have another clan war. Hopefully we're going to be doing it with all...
Pip.
all leagues, so look forward to that. There will be a forum post this time. It is going to be more organized than this one was. And yeah, if you're new to us and you're interested, please join us at psionicaftermath.com. All you have to do is sign up and join the chat channel, which is Psionic Aftermath with no spaces in BattleNet. Write an introduction about yourself and join us. We'd be happy to have you. Alright, yes, I'm Farade. He is Optox Udar. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Holler.
Turn off your screen.